threatens to sweep the country unless Starsky and Hutch can find the international hitman who is carrying the lethal virus. And the search becomes more personal and desperate when Hutch himself comes down with the deadly disease. On Starsky and Hutch tonight at 8 on Channel 10, KWTX-TV, Waco. KWTX-TV, Waco, Region 10 Television, serving Waco, Temple, Killeen, and the great Central Texas Metroplex.
Here in Austin, Texas, the first half has just ended. Texas now leading 19-7, trying to remain number one and undefeated. They led 13-0 at the end of the first quarter, but then Baylor came back. Let's go to New York and our colleague and friend, David Dials. Here he is.
Today, one of those classic college football confrontations, Michigan and Ohio State, and as usual, the Rose Bowl trip going to the winner. Today's Fireman's Fund Flashback is brought to you by Fireman's Fund Insurance. And Fireman's Fund Insurance is brought to you by an independent agent near you. Well, it was the Buckeyes who dominated the early going. In the first period, Ohio State's kicker, Valda Yanakiewski, kicked a 29-yard field goal. The Buckeyes in front, 3-0. But Michigan came back in the second quarter. Quarterback Rick Leach finding Roosevelt Smith coming out of the Michigan backfield. It's a 22-yard completion down to the Ohio State 8-yard line. And just 3 plays later, it was Smith bucking over from the 1-yard line. That touchdown and the ensuing extra point put the Wolverines in front 7-3. It was that way at the half. Michigan took advantage of Ohio State errors in the second half. Tailback Ron Springs fumbled on this play, and the Wolverines alert linebacker Ron Simpkins recovered at the Ohio State 20. The crowd of 106,024, largest in NCAA history, watched on as 4 plays later, Leach, a southpaw from Flint, Michigan, rolled out and scored to boost the margin to Michigan 14, Ohio State 3. Yanakiewski put the Buckeyes within range of a tie by kicking a 44-yard field goal before the conclusion of the third period. Michigan twice stopped Ohio State within the Michigan 10. First, Paul Campbell thwarted on this 4th-and-1 play with 7 minutes left. Then, with about 4 minutes to play, quarterback Rod Gerald fumbled, and Michigan's Eric Howard recovered to end the day for Woody Hayes and his Buckeyes. Woody Hayes, a disgruntled old warrior, will now watch his pupil, Bo Schembechler, take the Michigan team to the Rose Bowl.
You know, for years we burned in this symbol, the fire hat of Fireman's Fund. But here's an even more important symbol to burn in. It belongs to the people who sell our insurance, the independent agents. Each represents several companies, so they work for you to get the best policy and price. Naturally, we hope your agent picks Fireman's Fund. But make sure you pick an agent with this sign, and you won't get burned. In the yellow pages, Fireman's Fund Insurance Companies.
And in their traditional green and gold, thank you very much, David Dials, this is the Golden Wave Band of Baylor University. They've got some honeys out front. It's a band of 200 members, and they're working on W.C. Handy's famous tune, St. Louis Blues. So let's listen. Yes, here in the city of all kinds of music, whether it be one of our favorites, Willie Nelson, or Ronnie Millsap, whatever. This is the Baylor Band, and they're versatile. Whether it's pop, rock, country and western, blues, they do it. It's a band directed by Dick Floyd. Drum majors are the men that control it on the field, and they're Don Richardson from Irving, Mark Shelton of Arlington, and they have featured twirlers and golden girls as well. The featured twirlers are Elaine Richardson and Carmen Bacon. Acres of Cotton is a tribute to their head coach, Freddie Akers. And of course, cotton means going to Dallas and playing in the Cotton Bowl again, they hope. going into a wheel-like formation, the Golden Wave Band, getting ready for a stirring exhibition of rhythm on the march.
We vote this band number one. Golden Wave for your number strong. Change pace with our special concert version of Take the Clouds Away.
Well, what you saw is now the final score of Michigan State over Iowa 22-16. The percussion unit going on that rhythm number, and now the Golden Wave Band of Baylor Chase the Clouds Away, a concert version. Arizona 27, Texas of El Paso 3 in the third quarter. Washington 28, Washington State nothing. Two featured twirlers. That's Elaine Richardson, the one you saw just a few moments ago, and that beautiful green light right there is Carmen Baker. Is our director a Texan? Really knows how to zero in on the pretty girls. Band from Waco, Texas, representing Baylor University, and all the students, alumni can be very, very proud of the band, the featured twirlers, the drum majors, and they're here in Austin, Texas, and at halftime, Texas leading 19-7, but they're having a close run for the beauty of the ladies that represent them. You'll see the Texas ladies following, because this is the final performance here now of the Baylor University Band. All right, hats off to the Golden Wave Band, directed by Dick Floyd, his assistant Andy Russell, graduate assistants Mike Haithcote and Larry White. Let's learn more about Baylor University.
Golden Wave Marching Band is under direction of
Baylor University today is the largest Baptist institution of higher education in the world. The 300-acre main campus in Waco, Texas has over 40 buildings. Baylor also operates the Baylor Medical Center in Dallas and is affiliated with the Academy of Health Sciences in San Antonio. Students from all 50 states and many foreign countries are enrolled in Baylor's 35-degree programs, offering more than 50 major areas of study. Baylor's academic system is comprised of the College of Arts and Sciences and the schools of business, education, law, music, nursing, as well as the graduate school. Several special programs, such as the Church and State Studies, enhance Baylor's academic system. The Institute of Environmental Studies is currently involved in solar energy and air pollution research. The Armstrong Browning Library contains the world's largest collection of original manuscripts and materials related to English poets Robert and Elizabeth Barrett Browning. Academic excellence has been a tradition at Baylor University since 1845, offering an education for living and making a living.
So we're back again in Austin, Texas, and it's always great to visit here. University of Texas campus in a city that's growing, and you see the mighty bend in the Colorado River there at mid-screen, and that's where the situation, or the city is situated. And this is the Special Events Center. They call it the Super Drum. It's a magnificent facility just being completed. The basketball will be played there, concerts, all sorts of convocations, whether it be operatic, whether it be rock, whether it be jazz or country and western. It's quite a facility, and so is their football stadium. And so is their 300-member University of Texas marching band, directed by Tom Rhodes. And here it is. Right now, as we see the Goodyear blimp, the music is grandioso. And there is Big Bertha, 8 feet in diameter, presented to the Longhorn Band in 1955 by General Harold Byrd. On that cart, that four-wheel cart, it stands 10 feet tall, handled by the Drum Wranglers. And they do things big in Texas, believe me, and the band is just another example. A script version, a little different than that of Ohio State. This one, of course, spells out Texas. That's another big difference. Michigan today defeating Ohio State 14-6. They'll be going to the Rose Bowl. Right now, it's the Texas band. And of course, you know this tune. Listen to those University of Texas fans. I'm applauding here in our booth. Is the king of the blues, B.B. King. He's appearing here and loving every minute of it. Hats off to both bands. 19-7 is the score. The Baylor, Texas game is being brought to you by Goodyear, the makers of Tiempo steel-belted radials, a new kind of tire for every kind of weather. Keep it on season after season. By the makers of Skoal, Copenhagen, and Happy Days, the smokeless tobaccos, and by FRAM, makers of oil, air, and fuel filters, windshield wipers, and auto-like spark plugs, and tune-up kits. 19-7 is the halftime score. A lot of football still coming up. The nation's #1 team, Texas against Baylor.
This is an electronic typewriter, the Xerox 850 display typing system. Push a button, and a full page of text appears on a screen. You can correct spelling, rearrange paragraphs, even change margins instantly. Then it automatically types out on paper, letter perfect. If your business deals with thousands of words each day, remember this one.
10 years ago, no one knew me. I was part of the famous no-name defense. Then we built our reputation by being fast. Now, I don't want to lose that. I drink light beer from Miller because it doesn't fill me up, has a third less calories than a regular beer, and it tastes great. Now, everyone knows me. Hey,
I know you. You're,
Nick Bonicani.
No, that's not it.
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer, and less.
You know what's really nice about working hard all day? Just sitting around later on, relaxing and enjoying tobacco. And just like me and some other guys, the way I enjoy tobacco is without lighting up. Because I use smokeless tobacco. My favorite brand is Skull with the wintergreen taste. And you fellas that are just starting out might like to try Mild Happy Days. You just take a pinch and put it between your cheek and gum, sit back and relax.
Hi, I'm David Hartman, host of Good Morning America. All over our country, millions of students are participating in high school activities. Basketball, music, track and field events, drama, and many more. These programs are so important in developing healthy, well-rounded young people, in teaching them how to use their creative potential, how to work with others, how to deal with failure and success, skills that naturally complement classroom education. But right now, there's a shortage of money. These programs are so necessary for the education of almost half our high school students, and yet they cost less than 1% of our total education budget. High school activities are an important part of education, and they're a tremendous bargain. Let's keep them alive and healthy in America's high schools.
It's about 4:45 p.m. in Austin, Texas. Halftime score, the Longhorns #1 in the country, leading Baylor 19-7. In the fourth quarter, Texas A&M leading TCU 45-23 in an offensive thriller. And here in the fourth quarter, Colorado shutting out Kansas State. Frank Broyles 17-0.
Last week's loss to Oklahoma. They've had a lot of injuries.
At the moment on the field, the Longhorn Hall of Fame, they installed at a dinner that Frank and I attended last night, Bobby Lackey, a quarterback, and Darrell Royals, first three teams here, Randy Clay, an All-American back in the 40s, Hugh Wolf, won 5 letters in football and track in the 30s, Wally Pryor, whose voice you hear in the background, and Barry Whitaker, great Southwest Conference coach. There's Wally Pryor. You're not hearing his voice. He has a substitute at halftime, but I'll tell you, if you come to Texas, that's right. His brother's name is Cactus Pryor. All right, we'll be back in a little bit.
Next week, ABC Sports presents a tremendous Thanksgiving weekend of NCAA college football action beginning Thursday, Thanksgiving Day, when the #7 Razorbacks of Arkansas take on the Red Raiders of Texas Tech in a classic Southwest Conference showdown. Then Friday afternoon, the second-ranked Oklahoma Sooners battle their arch-rival Nebraska to determine the Big 8 representative in the Orange Bowl. Friday night, UCLA meets USC in a must-win game for the Bruins, who need a victory to earn a trip to the Rose Bowl for the second time in 3 years. Then Saturday, another great doubleheader, beginning with #8 Penn State against #9 Pittsburgh to determine the top team in the East, followed by all the color and excitement of the Army-Navy game live from John F. Kennedy Stadium in Philadelphia. A great lineup of NCAA college football action next weekend on ABC.
As the ceremony continues at halftime, installing 5 members in the Longhorn Hall of Fame, now getting a standing ovation, Frank Broyles. These are the first half statistics.
Actually, Chris, Texas is not too much forward of Baylor, but they have. Chris, last year, I knew we didn't have a chance playing Texas. We looked over, and while they were playing, the eyes of Texas officials had joined in the singing.
a great song by the Texas band, written in 1903 by Johnny Lang Sinclair.
Now, halftime statistics, a rundown. Texas a little bit ahead, but the ball game has been played in mostly Baylor territory, and their turnovers have given Texas 2 of their touchdowns. They've capitalized on mistakes by Baylor. 194 total yards to 140, 4 turnovers to 1.
Earl Campbell, their Heisman Trophy candidate, gained 71 yards in the first quarter, 63 yards in the second, 1 touchdown. Baylor averaging 225 yards per game rushing. Today, only 54, as Frank told you. And Texas averaging 127 yards passing per game. Today have only 4 yards, but they have the margin on the scoreboard, and that's what counts, 19-7.
Of course, Mac Etron had gotten most of those passing. He hasn't played the one play today, and Fred Akers is holding him out until hopefully the Texas A&M ball game. If they don't need him in this second half, we're not likely to see him.
And now the 4 captains of the Texas Longhorns have been out on the field. We want to name them: George James, Earl Campbell, Brad Scheer, number 77, that great lineman whom you saw so often in the first half, is definitely a candidate for the Outland Trophy.
We feel like he's one of the best tackles we've had in our conference in a long time.
And Morgan Copeland is the 4th Texas Longhorn quarterback. While for Baylor, it's Gary Blair, Tommy Davidson, Ron Burns, and Gary Hutchinson. And that sign tells it all as far as Texas fans are concerned, as far as the polls are concerned, whether it be the coaches, UPI, or AP. Number 1, and there is the capital of a huge state. This program is being brought to you as a special exclusive of ABC Sports. Let's pause 5 seconds to allow our local stations to identify themselves.
TV Waco Television for Region 10.
All right, thanks for your identification. Glad to have all of you here on the network, and glad to have all the viewers. And the second part of a big NCAA doubleheader with Michigan beating Ohio State 14-6. Later on, we'll give you the rundown on the big NCAA games coming up this week, starting on Thursday. Here's an update on another regionally covered game on the West Coast. Washington hoping to stay alive, and it appears they will, leading 35-0 in the third quarter. And they'll have to wait, Frank, for the game that we'll cover on Friday night, UCLA-SC.
And they'll be pulling for Southern Cal to defeat UCLA, and then they will get the Rose Bowl bid to play the University of Michigan.
We have Thompson and Wyatt Deep awaiting the kick by Jeff Black, number 50. There he is, of the Baylor Bears from Waco. Waco, the home of the Texas Ranger Hall of Fame and Museum. If you're ever in Waco, be sure and visit it, because they had such a big part in the history of Texas. And again, with a following wind, it'll be a touchback for the Texas Longhorns. That was Wyatt from Texarkana, Arkansas, playing on the Texas team that looked at the ball.
And I was in his home many times. But Earl Campbell was a big influence on Braylon to go to the University of Texas. They were good friends.
So here are the Longhorns now, 1st and 10. They scored 2 touchdowns in the first quarter, failed on the point after, scored another in the second, went for 2 and failed. So that's the 19-7 score, while it was a 74-yard beauty by Hawthorne that got the Baylor Bears on the scoreboard. Number 6 at quarterback, Randy McEachern. Randy, who had an injury and thought that he'd be held out for the A&M game, is, well, he won't get rusty if he gets into action.
Freddie must have felt that this game had gotten too close. He's going into the teeth of the wind, Chris, and the wind has picked up in the last 15 or 20 minutes, about 20 or 25 miles per hour, and this is the poorest field position Texas has had during the entire ball game.
All right, it's going to be a 2nd down and 6 from the 22. There he goes. There you got an idea of his tremendous speed, strength, and mainly balance. Earl Campbell. And these are the defenders that try to stop the Texas team, and actually they've done a very fine job. Alan Stone, 99, is the defensive end, whose number we've called. Thomas Brown, the defensive tackle, number 90. Jimmy Roll, 97, defensive end, and number 41, Jarrell, number 95. There's Singletary, number 63, and is he active? Now, it's 1st and 10 from the 34 for the Longhorns. And Campbell again for more yardage. Let's take a look at the secondary. He's done a great job on any of the passes. There are few that they've thrown today. Howard Fields is the cornerback. The right cornerback is Scooter Reed. The safety man, Ron Burns, a very fine one, a senior from Grand Prairie, and Tommy Green, a junior from San Antonio, Texas. With a 5-yard gain, it's going to be 2nd and 5 now for the Texas Longhorns. They have the ball at their own 39. 13:23 remaining in the 3rd quarter of play. 19-7 is the score. McEachern. And battling is 5'9" Ham Jones.
Chris, that offensive line, James and Ingram and Hubert are really moving them out.
We have a final score, Texas A&M, a whopping win over TCU.
They'll be ready for the Longhorns next week.
McEachern 6, 20 Campbell, 25 Ham Jones, 26 Lamb Jones, number 2 Alfred Jackson, who scored the first touchdown, who comes to the near side of the field, out of view at the bottom of your screen. So now on a 3rd down and 1, will the Longhorns get it? McEachern called his own number. He's from Pasadena, Texas, a senior, number 6. And came into his own right because of injuries to other Texas quarterbacks, and he impressed us in the Arkansas game.
There's 1,100 schools playing football in the state of Texas. And someone out time I was kidding Darrell and Freddie, you ought to be able to get a lot of quarterbacks. 1,100 they have to choose from.
And the Longhorns with another 1st down, and those are the men up front. McEachern, there's a good look at him. Now from his own 46. Stumbling was Campbell. McEachern failed to get the ball to Speedy Earl. He just passed him by. And that's the nose of the Goodyear blimp, America. And that's Memorial Stadium in Houston, Texas.
Chris, football coaches focus on the offensive center, and they get to see the blocking develop. And if our fans really want to see and enjoy football, if they'd watch the offensive line, they'll be able to see the back out of the corner of their eye.
Graduate of the University of Arkansas, Fred Akers, head coach, 1st year of the Longhorns. And this is Austin, Texas, not Houston. And Jackson gets a McEachern pass. Another 1st down for the Longhorns is Ron Burns, covered number 2. Alfred Jackson, he's from Caldwell, a senior. He's had tendonitis in the right knee and is a very speedy back. Coming in, he had 11 catches and 2 touchdowns.
It was a simple out pattern to Alfred Jackson, who has tremendous speed, and the defensive cornerback was playing way off for the long pass.
Now from the Baylor 42, 1st down from the eye. Flanker to the left, split into the right. Lockett and Jackson away. Campbell keeping it on the ground. Mike Singletary, whose picture you saw, the middle linebacker, a few moments ago. And we've isolated on him. Number 63, watch him.
Singletary is a freshman. They're in a split 6 defense. He takes on Hubert, the offensive center, spins back around and gets his hands and shoulder pad on Earl the Pearl.
That was the voice of Frank Broyles, father of 4 sons and twins back there in Fayetteville, Arkansas. 7 Southwest Conference championships, 1 national championship, 10 bowls. What a record, Mr. Broyles.
James and Ingram are moving the defensive Baylor lineman back and giving Earl a chance to make a lot of yardage.
And Allen Stone in on, along with Singletary, 6'3". Watch him on Campbell.
Singletary stacked behind the guard, takes on the center, Wes Hubert, and Yarborough, the guard, gets over into the play. 13 tackles last week.
It's a 1st down from the 31 of Baylor. About 10.5 remaining in the 3rd quarter. McEachern trying to cross up the defense. On the option, faking, pitch to number 25. Ham Jones. So after a 3-yard gain by the quarterback, it'll be 2nd down and 7. He was stopped by James Rowell of Angleton, Texas. Angleton.
I was there many times.
Did you ever get a player out of the town?
Not many.
Singletary, after a hard hit on Campbell on the previous play, must have twisted his ankle. He is out of the lineup for the moment. With a 2nd down and 7 from the Baylor 28. Texas with the ball leading 19-7. Beautiful fake to Campbell, and then Jackson gets it at about the 18. A 1st down for the Longhorns. And there again you see their variety, their versatility of their attack.
That's what they've been doing all season long, is when the team crowds their running game, they throw to Jackson.
We're pleased that the viewers of the Washington State game have joined us here in Austin, Texas. 19-7 is the score. The number 1 team in the country in the lead as we have 9:13 remaining in the 3rd quarter. It's a 1st down at the Baylor 18 for the Longhorns. And those quick handoffs and the quick feet of Earl Campbell. Tackled by freshman Joe Campbell.
Campbell brought down by Campbell, number 60.
Point. It was Jackson, and it was Campbell, and then they scored another touchdown. Ansley, the quarterback, and Baylor went 74 yards. To bring you up to date on how the scoring has been, as Jimmy Johnson carried on the play a 2nd down and 4, and it's right near the forward stake. As Paul Hurst, 53, and 33, Jerry Harrison made the stop.
Texas has used up nearly 7 minutes of this 3rd quarter going into the teeth of a 20-mile-an-hour wind.
And they're trying to cap an 80-yard drive. They began at the 20. Now they have a 1st and goal at the 7. Jackson, number 2 to the left. That's head coach Freddie Akers. Mike Lockett is to the right, number 47. From the 7, 1st and goal, and Campbell broke away momentarily, gained about 2 yards. It'll be 2nd and goal as Joe Campbell of Baylor made the stop again. Play being sent in by the likable Freddie Akers, 39 years old. And now, for you West Coast viewers, you'll go back to your game, Washington State. Thanks for watching. We'll remain here in Austin. Second and goal from the 7 for the Texas Longhorns. 7:23 remaining in the 3rd quarter. And Randy McEacher, number 6, on a keeper. No yardage gain. Ron Burns was there to stop him. And there goes another jersey.
Ron Burns is all-conference free safety. This is outside veer. Quarterback turns up. And Burns comes from the safety man to fill the funnel. He'll get a big plus for that play.
That was the voice of Frank Broyles. I gave you some of his statistics. Here's one I like. He and Darrell Royal once played in one day 80 holes of golf.
We don't ever say who won.
3rd and goal, and again the Baylor defense is tough, and Earl Campbell, the number 1 man, carried on the play, and it brings the 4th down as Paul Hurst stopped number 20. And with a 4th down and goal to go, the spot of the ball is the 4. The offensive backfield comes out. Steve McMichael will try a field goal. The spot is the 11 plus the 10 of the end zone. 21 yards on a slight angle. It's up. It's good. 22-7, and they make up for the extra point they missed and the try for 2 with a 21-yard field goal here in Austin.
And McMichael filling in for the injured Russ Exley.
We're going to take a break here in Austin as the shadows lengthen, and then be back.
I like my chicken finger looking good.
We've tried other places, but we've always come back to Kentucky Fried Chicken.
We come up every day.
I like my chicken finger looking good.
Kentucky Fried Chicken puts together a whole meal.
Kentucky Fried Chicken is a good deal for a family.
I like my chicken finger looking good.
I think Kentucky Fried Chicken is a good value for a working woman.
Kentucky Fried Chicken keeps me alive on the days when my wife's not around.
Colonel, your chicken is really neat.
See what's new today.
Chevrolet announces a lot more Chevette for a lot less money. New Chevette standard equipment includes a radio, white wall tires, console, sports steering wheel, 1.6-liter engine, 18 new standard features in all. Front bucket seats, plus a wide hatch, carpeting, front disc brakes, rack and pinion steering, and more. The 78 Chevy Chevette. A lot more Chevette for a lot less money.
A businessman talks about college.
I think the most important thing I got out of college was the ability to get along with people, to communicate. It's worth it.
Thus far today, this is the Baylor hero, involved in a 74-yard touchdown. Hawthorne awaiting McMichael's kick, following a successful 21-yard field goal. Texas 22, Baylor 7. Hawthorne looking at it, gets it at about the 7, 10, 15. Sindline was the first to be there on the stop. Robin Sindline of Las Vegas, Nevada, playing for the University of Texas.
Texas has had outstanding special team success this year. They got some young men with good speed, and they have great desire and get down and cover those kickoffs and punts.
And Baylor is back at its own 9. First and 10. 19 is Tommy Davidson coming to the near side of the field, the Texas coaching staff. Their team leading 22-7. Brad Shearer came in there on Hawthorne, number 27, who's a junior from Fort Worth, 6'2", 221.
Chris, we had to assign 2 blockers to Brad Shearer most of the time when we were going to run right at him. He's one of the best tackles that have been in the Southwest Conference in a long, long time.
6'4", 255, a native of Austin, where we are, and a senior. Now, 2nd and 11 after the yard loss from the 8. Davidson and Taylor set back and now going out. And And the Texas defense are hot that they didn't nail him in the end zone.
Little Tim Campbell had his hands on him, 2 yards in the end zone, and let him escape back to the 1-yard line. He is upset with himself.
Ron Bones, Steve McMichael, and Campbell in on the play. That was the one that showed you all that spirit. And this is one of the great things of college football, the spirit that we see on, well, the team that's leading most times, but the others that never let down. That was Wood just angling off on a 3rd and 18 from his own 1. And now, from deep in his own territory at the end line, we'll have a kick and listen to the applause for the defense of Texas.
And why not? They have had a sensational year. They have 7 sophomores, 2 juniors, and 2 seniors in the starting lineup.
I haven't seen a winner yet that didn't have a great defense, Frank.
Defense and kicking usually win the tough ball games.
All right, there he is back at the end line. Luke Prestridge. He got off a 79-yarder earlier. This one bouncing out of bounds at about the 42 of Baylor. So not too shabbily done.
And good field position for Texas.
And Texas in the lead, 22-7. We're in the 3rd quarter. 3:55 remaining in the 3rd quarter. We'll be back.
When you come to Dean Witter, you'll find stockbrokers who know more than stocks and bonds. They know people. More than 500,000 people already come to Dean Witter's 130 offices all over the country. For all kinds of help, with all kinds of investments. When it comes to investing your money wisely, come see Dean Witter.
I've got a lot of money in this car. Where can I get good service without a hassle?
Don't you know there's good news round the corner? Goodyear, wherever you are. Goodyear, good and close to home.
Presenting the Goodyear Promise for hassle-free auto service. We do professional work. We only do the work you authorize. We return worn-out parts for your inspection. No hassle, no problems, no fooling.
Goodyear tires and Goodyear service for Goodyear's in your car.
Thanksgiving Day, ABC Sports presents outstanding NCAA college football action as the 7th-ranked Arkansas Razorbacks take on the Red Raiders of Texas Tech in a classic Southwest Conference showdown. That's NCAA college football Thanksgiving Day on ABC.
And there she is, the Goodyear blimp, America, above Austin, Texas, and more specifically, Memorial Stadium. And the Longhorns have it at the Baylor 43, first down, following a punt from the end zone. Ooh, what a battle. Is there a loose ball? Campbell had the ball, but did he keep it? No. Second time now today that he has fumbled. Of course, they're keying on him. And believe me, when they key on, the hits are hard.
Here's a replay. He never got the handle. It was a trap play right up the middle. He was looking where he was going to run in. The quarterback hit him high above the numbers, and he fumbled the ball.
Lester Ward recovered. He's the freshman from Temple, Texas. So Baylor, very good. They get it at the 43. They gained 2 yards on that exchange. So let's see what Wood, the quarterback, will do. Throwing long. That was Bo Taylor, a sophomore from Dallas, number 5, covered by number 3, Derek Hatchett.
Hatchett was a walk-on, too, Chris, but he runs on the sprint relay team for Texas. He's been timed in 9.4 in the 100, and he ran with Taylor shoulder to shoulder, and there was no chance for the completed pass.
All right, so it'll be a second down and 10 with 3:45 remaining in the third quarter. Field lights are on. From the 43 of Baylor, they trail 7-22. And a riled-up Texas defense, including Brad Shear, number 77, number
Tim Campbell,
86, Tim Campbell, right, and Lance Taylor, 32. Oh, the heck with it. The whole forward line of the defense.
The defense is cranked up, Chris.
Oh, yeah,
they are really fired up now.
So, still at the 43, it's going to be a third down and 10 for the Baylor Bears. Wood. Tim Campbell chasing him, but he gets it off. Incomplete. Covered on the play was number 82, Ronnie Lee. Derek Hatchett, number 3, covering Ronnie Lee. So Prestridge will come in again. Recruited to Baylor on a baseball scholarship, the punter. Still plays baseball.
Listen to those fans cheer that defense. Oh, that swells them up. They'll go out and play much harder.
So number 27 deep for the Longhorns. That's Johnny Johnston. Looking at it at the 13.
Watch out.
Boy, the man on the move that hit him first was number 26, Griffin, a defensive back. So now the Texas Longhorns are going to have the ball first and 10 at their own 18. We're going to take this pause and then return to Austin, Texas.
If we're going to have a future in our environment, we're going to have to clean up the water.
Bill Draper, Waste Treatment Supervisor. This is who we are and what we do at General Motors.
We analyze the waste, determine what chemical charges we'll have to put in it to break out the impurities. And it goes to a chemical mix tank, to the air flotation system, which causes the impurities to float to the top, come up in an oily layer. We skim that oily layer off. Then it goes to a clarifier, and from that stage the water is clear, and some fish that we get out of the river, we keep them there for the school kids to show that our water will support fish life and we're not doing harm in the river.
General Motors, people building transportation to serve people.
We're back in Austin. 2:56 remaining. Third quarter. Texas leading 22-7. They have the ball first and 10 at their own 18. Randy McEacher. 26, Lamb Jones is to the left. Number 2, Jackson to the right. Number 20, Earl Campbell carrying on the play. Thus far today, 25 carries, And with 3 yards on that play, he has 169 yards on the game. And on Monday night, in a big week of football on ABC, it begins at 9 Eastern. ABC's NFL Monday Night Football, Washington 5-4 against the Green Bay Packers. Second down at 7 for the Longhorns, leading 22-7. McEachern. Campbell. And that was Howard Fields that was quickly there to cover. Pulling to block as he usually does was Rick Ingram, number 73. Singletary also in on the tackle.
It takes some speed guards with speed to get out in front and become a lead block for Earl Campbell, and Yarborough and Ingram both have that type of speed that coaches are looking for. Here's an isolation on Singletary, number 63, the young freshman linebacker that Grant Pass says is going to be one of the best that they've had. Here he is firing through the line, making the tackle on Earl.
Now it's a third down. Third down and 6. So on a third down and 6, Lamb Jones, the speedster, gets the first down, and let's watch.
On the replay, the timing has to be perfect before the linebacker retreats in the zone. Lamb Jones catches the ball in front of the halfback and behind the linebacker and nearly gets loose for a long run.
So now it's a 1st and 10 as we get a better look who represented our country at Montreal and was in on the 400-meter relay victory. From the 40, first down. And McEachern, number 6, keeping on the play. Now we have 1 minute remaining in the third period of play. Texas leading 22-7. Doak Field made the tackle. He is a freshman from Burnett, Texas. And look at the sun setting out here in the southwest.
Couldn't paint it any prettier than that.
After that 2-yard gain, we have a second down and 8 from the 43. Texas with the ball from their eye. Colorado beating Kansas State today, 23-0. McEachern. Jackson. Wow. Alfred Jackson pulling the ball in. There's Jackson, who scored the first touchdown for Texas. Watch number 33, Harrison, covering him.
Harrison was covering, but there was a fake to Campbell, and Jackson breaks outside after pushing deep. The success of this play, Chris, depends upon Jackson's speed to push deep and get Fields to retreat like it's going to be a long pass, and then break it off in front of him. McEachern had the ball right on target.
All right, and Jackson with a problem now on the Texas bench. For his team, they have advanced to the 39, but they'll play it from the other end as time has run out here in the third quarter, with the Longhorns leading by a score of 22-7. The fourth quarter coming up. Texas band that's been playing from the very start in their undefeated season. We'll hear more of them after this.
The computer. Startlingly fast. Incredibly precise. And now from Magnavox comes the first computer TV. Touch Tune color television. Touch Tune and lock in computer sharp color, computer fast, even by remote. Computer reliability in a wide range of prices and styles. Star System Touch Tune color television from Magnavox.
Let's see how Texaco is trying to increase production in this tired old oil field, from a few hundred to 14,000 barrels a day. This model will give you an idea of roughly what happens 4,500 feet below the Earth's surface. Water under great pressure surges through the field. It loosens oil that coats the rocks, untraps small deposits, then forces it up and out. So far, it's cost about $18 million, but we've got to find more energy for you right here in America.
Saturday, Tabitha bewitches the weather, and a star is born.
You'll have a ball on the Temple Mall because you'll find all you need this fall. The 51 merchants of the Temple Mall invite you to shop their wide variety of stores, where you can find a gift for everyone on your Christmas list. Make this year's Christmas shopping a real joy in the relaxed, pleasant atmosphere of the Temple Mall. The Temple Mall, where they've got it all.
Once you've entered the Iron Gate, you'll marvel at the vast selection of Christmas ornaments and gifts, as well as the beautiful decorator items for your home. The Iron Gate has something for every room, something for everyone. Make Christmas truly different this year. Shop the Iron Gate, 804 South 17th in Temple.
You don't have to invest longer than 4 years to earn 7.5% on a First Federal Certificate of Deposit. There's no safer place to save.
Earl Campbell of Tyler, Texas, a 22-year-old senior. Thus far today, 169 yards, 26 carries, 1 touchdown. Now we'll have the first snap of the fourth quarter with Texas leading 22-7. We had a 21-yard field goal by McMichael in the third quarter, thus the score. McEachern is the quarterback. Here's the snap from the 39 of Baylor. And Campbell again drawing first Thomas Brown, number 90 on the play, and 2 or 3 of the other Baylor Bear defenders. And we might add, with only the 3 points scored in the third quarter, Frank Royals, the Baylor defense hasn't done that poorly here today. We've got to pat them on the back.
They have a lot of pride. They've been successful against the run all year long. Fumbles by the Baylor team, giving Texas good field position, has been the difference in the ball game.
That's Lockett coming out of the ball game. Alfred Jackson is okay. You recall earlier he was shaken up, and now his team has a 2nd and 6 from the 35. And that's Ham Jones carrying on the play. You know, to make a great runner, a great player, with the blockers in the backfield, they have to be very unselfish, and Ham Jones certainly is one of them, Frank.
He's been making the key block in practically every ball game to bring Earl Campbell loose into the secondary. He's the lead blocker on most of Earl's runs.
We have 14 minutes and 11 seconds remaining in our game here in Austin, Texas. The Longhorns leading the Bears of Baylor 22-7. Now it's a third down, a little more than 1 for the first down at the Baylor 30. Hubert snapping the ball to McEachern. And bowling for the first down was Ham Jones, number 25. So the Longhorns keeping this drive alive, having started at the 18. Their biggest drive today was 80 yards and 16 plays, consuming 9 minutes and 2 seconds on the clock, Frank Royals.
I believe that's the longest time of possession in a drive that I've seen this year. Ham Jones has 52 yards and 10 tries, 10 attempts for a 5.2-yard average when he's not blocking. He's had a busy day.
Speedster Lamb Jones is in. Lockett is out. From the 27 of Baylor, first down. Good rush put on McEachern by number 46, Doak Field of Burnett, Texas, the freshman. So it'll be a 2nd down and 10.
Here are the third quarter stats. Texas, of course, way ahead now. 18 first downs to 8. Time of possession is the real key. 13 minutes, 43 seconds for Texas, 14-17 for Baylor, and that's the real story.
13:33 to go in the ball game. Going to the far side, number 47 Lockett and number 2 Jackson, who is the split end. Lockett is in the slot on a 2nd and 10. McEachern, the quarterback. Trying to cut away was Earl Campbell, but fine defensive play by looked like number 97, Rowell, the sophomore, 6'2", 250 pounds. So it's going to be a 3rd down and 10. Now I can see why many of the Western artists come out here to paint those lovely pictures. What a sunset here in Austin.
It's a beautiful day for football.
3rd down and 10. Wide setbacks this time. Campbell and Jones. And Jackson on just enough yardage for the Texas first down. Griffin making the stop, number 26 from Athens, Texas, a sophomore playing for Baylor, and we have a Baylor Bear player injured, as now McEachern has completed 5 of 6. It's number 48, Rick Rand, a junior from Dallas, Texas. We invite you to stay tuned at the conclusion of the game for the Chevrolet offensive and defensive players of the game, and of course the ABC News Special, continuing their fine coverage of the arrival of President Anwar Sadat of Egypt to Israel.
And hopefully we can get peace.
Right. Memorial Stadium in Austin. We're going to return to it following this.
See what's new today.
Introducing the third generation Monte Carlo. The third generation of a highly original yet affordable car that, like its owners, stands apart from the ordinary, apart from the crowd. There is no other car quite like the third generation Monte Carlo. So drive it. And put a little distance between yourself and the crowd.
Special moments, times of your life you'll want to remember in pictures. To help make those pictures look as good as they can, make sure Kodak paper is behind them. If you don't see these words, it isn't Kodak paper. Just look for this sign when you get your pictures. Kodak paper, for a good look at the times of your life.
Excitement can be found at each of the NCAA's 472 football-playing institutions representing 3 divisions. The 1977 National Collegiate Division II Football Championship will be on December 10th in the Pioneer Bowl at Wichita Falls, Texas, and can be seen on ABC.
12:41 remaining in the ball game, and this lady should be happy because her team, Texas, leading 22-7. Now with a 1st and 10 at the Baylor 16, and driving his way down to inside the 10, Earl Campbell. Sure, he had a hole, but the rest of the yardage was hard-earned by him.
He just ricocheted through there behind the blocking of James and Ingram and Hubert. The entire Texas line, Chris, is a thing of joy and beauty to watch for a football coach. They are getting movement where the Texas backs now can make their cuts on the defensive side of the football and not in their own backfield.
A major in communications, Earl Campbell. So was Tony Dorsett at Pittsburgh last year. 2nd and about 5 as Campbell carried. Getting nearer to that forward stake for a first down is Ingram again. The left guard, number 73, made the hole.
Chris, last year, Earl Campbell was called a number of times for jumping the snap count. He anticipates and gets such a start that the officials many times called him in motion when he wasn't, and that's what happened on this last play.
Percy Penn is the referee, and there is a penalty being marked off now against Texas, and here's the reason why. An illegal shift in the backfield. And Frank,
yes,
verifying what you have said.
Everybody complained, but we all thought, after looking at them, that Earl most of the time was legal. He just starts faster than anybody else on the team.
So it is a 2nd down and 10. Lamb Jones out of the lineup. Lock it in, number 47. Baylor up there in their basic 4-3 defense. You see it right there, very graphically. That was Ham Jones. Joe Field again in defensively for the Baylor Bears. Again reminding you at the conclusion of this game, be sure and watch and listen to the ABC News Special, the visit of President Sadat to Israel. Harry Reisner is the host. Barbara Walters, of course, will be there with interviews with Prime Minister of Israel and the President of Egypt. And this will all happen immediately following the NCAA college football exclusive coverage of the Texas-Baylor game at sunset. And the illumination now beginning to take over. And right here in Memorial Stadium, 22-7 is the score. Texas leading. 11:49 left in the game. 3rd and 1. And that Baylor defense, led by Jerry Harrison. A fumble, and they're getting resourceful, the Baylor Bears, and they stop the drive. Rowell covered.
I'm Jim McKay for the Timex Marathon Digital. We strapped it to a Swiss mountain guide to prove it's tough enough to be a Timex.
In my life, I have led hundreds of climbers to the top, but every time is like the first time for me.
Built solid to keep running. Just look at the kind of punishment Marathon can take. Timex Marathon shows the time all the time. Timex Marathon, the digital tough enough to be a Timex.
We're Transamerica, the people in the pyramid, and we're going to give you first-rate service at a fair price. From Occidental Life of California and Budget Rent-A-Car. From Pacific Finance and Transamerica Insurance. From United Artists and Lion Moving and Storage. From every company that's part of Transamerica, we promise first-rate service at a fair price every time.
Thanksgiving Day, ABC Sports presents outstanding NCAA college football action as the 7th-ranked Arkansas Razorbacks take on the Red Raiders of Texas Tech in a classic Southwest Conference showdown. That's NCAA college football Thanksgiving Day on ABC.
Harrison made the hit. Rowell made the recovery to get Baylor the ball. The second Texas turnover. Baylor has had 4 today. That was a 1st and 10 snap from the Baylor 13. Baylor down in the game 7-22 with 11:39 left. At the end of the first quarter, Texas, some of the players at whom we're looking, led 13-0 at halftime, 19-7. The end of 3, 22-7. So we've only had a 21-yard field goal offensively here in the second half of the 67th meeting. We're in Memorial Stadium, and the first game played here was in 1924 against Baylor, and they won the ball game 28-10. Now 2nd and 10 from the 13. Tommy Davidson caught it inbounds, and that's a first down for the Baylor Bears. Covering Morgan Copeland and Hatchett.
It was a beautiful pass and an excellent route run by Davidson. He came all the way in, faked the post route, went back outside, and caught it just before he went out of bounds. Really a beautiful play.
He's had a fine day. 5 catches. Correction. Passing. Greg Wood has thrown 13 times, completing 5 for 104 yards. From the 25, the Texas defense gets tough on Hawthorne. Lance Taylor, the first hit, number 32. From Waco with the Baylor cheerleaders.
The Texas coaching staff, Freddie Akers, feels that Lance Taylor has a chance to be as good as Tommy Novus before he leaves the University of Texas. He's a middle linebacker and leads the team in tackles and has a nose for the football. And Chris, coaches believe that linebackers are born. You don't coach them. They are born to play.
Okay. 2nd and 10 from the 25. Here is Wood. Hit from behind by number 99, Steve McMichael. Double duties today as the kicker and a defensive tackle with the injury to Russell Erxleben. As we look at the capital of Texas, Austin, I have a telephone headset up in my left ear, and hopefully I'm in contact with either Roger Valdesari or the athletic director at Notre Dame, Moose Krause, following a press conference at Notre Dame regarding the bowl aspirations or assignments. As the play goes on here, Roger Valdesari, do you have any news for us? Roger Valdesari is saying, ladies and gentlemen, no news as yet. The press conference is about to get underway, waiting for a couple of the principals to arrive at the Monogram Room on the South Bend campus. So, Roger, I'll hand the phone to one of our associates here, and then we'll be back at you, okay? Hang on, Roger. Roger Valdesari, we're trying to find out if Notre Dame has accepted a bowl bid to the Cotton or to another bowl, as Prestridge of Baylor now is kicking.
Watch out, Chris. It's a low one.
That's Johnny Johnston. And boy, he got nowhere. So now the Texas Longhorns with 9:59 remaining in the ball game have a 22-7 lead. They'll have a 1st and 10 at their own 40 following this pause for a message.
KWTX. From Maine to California, you sit atop a rig with 13 Ford speeds and 300 horses. And when the run is over, that's when Miller time begins. Time to stretch out and head for the best tasting beer you can find. America's quality beer, Miller High Life.
If you've got the time, we've got the beer, Miller Beer.
Goodyear announces Tiempo, a new kind of tire for every kind of weather. Tiempo is a breakthrough in steel-belted radios. The polyester cord body and 2 full steel belts combine flexibility and strength for a smooth, gas-saving radial ride. The special rubber compound and tread design grips and pulls through snow and ice, yet the center rib assures a quiet ride on dry pavement. Tiempo with a protective sidewall scuff bar from $39. Keep it on season after season, only from Goodyear.
9:59 remaining in the ball game. Texas leading 22-7. They have the ball. They're in the burnt orange if you just joined us. 1st and 10 at their own 40. Sammy Ansley, the freshman quarterback, is back in the lineup. He started. McEachern came in to get some work. But it was Ansley who got the points, 19 of them, as he engineered the attack. McEachern was in to get a 21-yard field goal in the 3rd quarter. Lester Ward and Ron Burns in on the tackle. We're looking at the freshman, who is 6'2", 175 pounds, Sammy Ansley, number 7.
Started his first game last week at the University of Texas against TCU and threw 2 touchdown passes and ran for a 3rd.
Split back formation, flanker, split end, 2nd and 6 from the 44 as you see. Here he is. Oh, they have some good linemen up front. They are just tremendous players who are beautifully schooled and drilled.
Stoddard and Yarborough on the right side of the line, opening up holes for Ham Jones. Hubert DeSena is one of the finest in our conference. Left guard is Rick Ingram, and left tackle is George James, and they are getting movement where the backs can run or break on the other side of the ball.
At that time, they sprung their quarterback loose to gain the 1st down, now at the Baylor 48. Number 23, Singleton, is an offensive end split at the top of your screen. Ansley, number 7. Doak Field, a freshman from Burnett, Texas. Boy, he's having quite a second half. He's number 46. There he is. There he was. Now we have 8:23 remaining.
Chris, everybody that's played Baylor have been impressed with the physical part of their defensive football team. They will take you on. They've got a lot of pride, and they come at you for 60 minutes.
Baylor has not won here in Memorial Stadium since 1951.
And only one team has the last 49 ball games.
Okay, loss of a yard, 2nd and 11 at the Baylor 49. Texas with the ball. Less than 8 minutes left in the game. And the Baylor defense was there on Earl Campbell. At the midfield stripe, another yard loss. So it'll be 3rd down and 12. Russell Slicker, number 45 in white. Lean and mean, as they say. 6'4", 218 pounds.
Baylor's 2 defensive tackles are playing much better this half. They are penetrating and causing Texas quarterbacks some problems. That's Brown and Rowell.
And now McEachern is back in for the Texas Longhorns, wearing number 6. The ball at midfield, 3rd down and 12. The setbacks, Lamb Jones, flanked to the far side. And down the middle to Jackson.
Can he run? Goodness gracious. And Lamb Jones can outrun him.
All right, let's watch McEachern find his man.
He dropped back, and Jackson crossed into the middle behind the linebackers in front of the safety, and there was nobody home because Baylor plays a man-to-man secondary also.
And remember, Jackson is not as fast as Lamb Jones, the Olympic gold medal winner. This team has everything. Number 1 ranked Texas, now with a 1st and 10 at the 16. All right, here is the Sugar Bowl announcement. Alabama against Ohio State, Monday, January 2nd, exclusively here on ABC. We'll be going back to Notre Dame and the Sports Information Director of Notre Dame, Roger Baldessari, as soon as they have something going. The Rose Bowl, of course, Michigan defeating Ohio State today. And on Friday night, Frank Broyles and I and our ABC crew will be at the Coliseum in Los Angeles to find out if UCLA can defeat SC, and they would go. Otherwise, it would be Washington going to the Roses.
Pressure will be in L.A. in that ball game.
And the Liberty Bowl, North Carolina versus Oklahoma or Nebraska, Monday, December 19th. Here at 2nd and 9 for McEachern. Oh, he lifts one out there, and there is the Olympic man. Just like we said, the gold medal member of the 440 relay team in Montreal, Lamb Jones.
Chris, that was a thing of beauty. Jones just printed right down the boundary. The defensive cornerback misjudged his speed, but how do you judge the speed of 9'2" in the 100?
Unquestionably the fastest college football player in the nation.
McEachern just laid it into the corner of the end zone, and Jones ran under it, in behind the defensive right halfback.
Now McMichael will try the point after. Ricky Churchman is holding. The kick is up, and now the Longhorns, number 1 in the country, lead Baylor 29-7. They went from the 40, took it in. 6:24 to go.
Sit tight, Pop. I'll pump myself. Let me tell you something, gang. Any gas will get you where you want to go. But it ought to be in there cleaning your carburetor, too. Now, you want to make sure you're getting the job done, use new STP gas treatment. You just pump in a can with every tank load of gas, and it goes to work cleaning like a bandit. Clean that carburetor. Get a hold of this, and do it yourself. Keep the change, partner.
What does it take to start the wheels of American industry rolling? It takes machines, men, and money. That's where savings and loans come in. Money you save with us goes back into your community in the form of home loans. The savings and loan commitment to housing generates over $100 million a day for jobs, goods, and services. Help keep America rolling by having your savings account at your savings and loan.
All right, Hook 'em Horns by Texas. And now the 2 men that won the Chevrolet $1,000 scholarship going in the General Scholarship Fund. Frank Broyles, would you name the defensive and offensive players of the game?
Well, I don't think there's any question. Offensively, it's Earl Campbell, and defensively, Brad Sherrill.
Standing deep now for Baylor, number 27 in the end zone, Greg Hawthorne, who is told very wisely by number 16, Buckley, not to run it out. And there's the man who has just won, and his efforts, $1,000 scholarship, not to the athletic department, to the General Scholarship Fund, and $1,000 in this man's name as well, Brad Shearer.
Both have had 4 outstanding years at the University of Texas. Brad Shearer, a candidate for the Outland Trophy Award, too, Chris.
That's right.
10 tackles already in this ball game.
With a marker down, the snap came from the 20. And the run goes across the 25 to about the 28. It was Frank Pollard, number 30, on the carry. Let's look at the offensive player of the game again.
Earl Campbell, Earl the Pearl to Tyler Rose. Defensive player of the game, Brad Sherrill, the defensive tackle, has 10 tackles. $1,000 Chevrolet Award to the University of Texas Scholarship.
And Earl Campbell with 1 touchdown, 30 carries today, 181 yards. We had an offside against the Texas defense, declined. So, because of a 9-yard gain, it's 2nd down and 1. First down for the Baylor Bears. And a collision here in the heart of Texas. Ooh.
Martinoni, the hit linebacker, the free linebacker on the weak side. Collision, Greg Wood, the quarterback, and Greg is knocked unconscious at this time. Looks like.
Wow.
Oh, that's something soap and water won't wash off.
If we look at Earl Campbell, we have 6 minutes and 6 seconds remaining in the game. The 67th meeting between these Southwest Conference schools. Texas leading 29-7.
I was asked to talk about the incredible Black & Decker Workmate. There's almost nothing it can't hold. But the Workmate is so incredible, I'm going to let it do the talking. The Workmate from Black & Decker and nobody else. When America has a job to do, it reaches for Black & Decker.
Your car will always need new parts, but you will never need to buy another battery. Once you own the J.C. Penney battery, it never needs water, ever. And it has more power to start your car than any other car battery. So dependable, it's fully warranted for as long as you own your car. If it ever fails, return it. We'll replace it, free. Only at J.C. Penney Auto Centers or catalog desks. It's the last battery your car will ever need.
And now, live and direct here in Austin, Texas, we have the very fine sports information director from Notre Dame, Roger Baldessari. A press conference underway. Roger Baldessari, has a decision been made on bowl-bound Notre Dame?
Scarborough selection, the chairman of the selection committee, the Cotton Bowl, has just extended the invitation to Moose Cross, our athletic director, and Moose has accepted the invitation for Notre Dame to play the Southwest Conference champion on January the 2nd.
And of course, as you know, Roger, Frank Broyles and I, along with our ABC crew, are here in Austin covering the game. And the Texas Longhorns, with a 29-7 lead, can clinch at least a tie with the end game yet to be played. But all speculation would be that Notre Dame will be playing Texas in the Cotton Bowl.
Well, we'd like to play Texas in the Cotton Bowl, and if they're going to be undefeated, we'd certainly like to play the #1 team in the country.
Okay, Roger, we appreciate your help in giving us this news from the Notre Dame campus, and all of us wish you well in the Cotton Bowl, and we hope to see you soon. Thank you. So there you have it. Notre Dame has accepted a bid moments ago to play in the Cotton Bowl in Dallas.
Chris, I'm very happy for the Notre Dame coaching staff. Mervyn Johnson, a dear friend of mine, is offensive coordinator, and Dan Devine has been under a little bit of criticism, but he's come back with a great football team, and I'm very happy for him. And of course, the people in Dallas are very excited about the matchup between maybe Texas or Texas A&M and Notre Dame. But in the Sugar Bowl, we've got a game going too with Ray Bryant and Woody Hayes.
Can you imagine that? And of course, unfortunately, Greg Wood of Jackson, Mississippi, the sophomore quarterback for Baylor, shaken up quite badly. And we're going to see again just how he was hit.
He was dropping back to pass, Chris, and the receivers were covered. Mark Martinoni makes just a picture-perfect tackle right there with his shoulder pad and headgear coming right under the shoulder pad and up into probably his jaw. Now, the trouble thing is that Greg Wood was knocked unconscious last week, and so that is a concern to the Baylor coaches.
Bevo, number 10, the mascot of Texas, taking a pause, and that's what we're going to do. 6 minutes left in the game.
95.7%. That's how many Chevy trucks back through the 1967 models were still on the job as of July 1st, 1976. Repeat, 95.7% were still on the job. This is based on industry data for the 10 most recent model years recorded.
Will the owner of the Chevy pickup please come to the office?
Chevy trucks, built to stay tough.
You know, Fireman's Fund says, for the best insurance, look for our fire hat. But there's another symbol just as important. It belongs to the man who sells our insurance, the independent agent. Because he represents not just us, but many fine companies, to get you the very best deal around. So even if you forget our symbol, remember this one of the man who serves you first, your independent agent. He's got the one symbol it pays you to know. In the Yellow Pages, Fireman's Fund Insurance Companies.
We're back again, Memorial Stadium, and unfortunately, Greg Wood, the sophomore quarterback, is being carried from the playing field on a stretcher after a lengthy observation on the field, and at our first opportunity, we will find out just what the condition of this fine young quarterback is. Right now, the tactical situation on the field is this. At the 35, Greg Wood made the first down on a tremendous run, but then was hit hard. Scott Smith is his replacement, number 11, a freshman from Dallas, Texas. So from the 35, he pitches out to Hawthorne, who throws a forward pass intended for 19, Tommy Davidson. To no avail, so it'll be a second down and 10. Johnny Johnson covering on the play, and Frank R. Sugar Bowl. With Ohio State accepting the Sugar Bowl bid, they'll go against Alabama. Two coaches that have phenomenal records.
Bear Bryant is the third winningest coach of all time, and actually he's getting close to the all-time record of Amos Alonzo Stagg, and Woody Hayes is the fourth winningest coach of all time in college football. They'll be against each other on opposite sides of the field in the Sugar Bowl on New Orleans on January the 2nd.
Greg Hawthorne for the Baylor Bears, number 27, carried on the play on a 2nd and 10. Morgan Copeland made the tackle, and let's see where the officials, they spotted at the 38, and it's going to now bring up for Baylor a 3rd down and 7.
I think there won't be a lot written about those two men when they arrive in New Orleans.
The report on the quarterback, Greg Wood, an undetermined neck injury. And we hope sincerely that it is nothing serious. Steve Massey came in on Scott Smith, the freshman quarterback who replaced the injured Greg Wood. And because of the defensive play now, a loss to the 31, a loss of 7, it's going to be a punting situation for Luke Prestridge of Houston, the sophomore punter. 4th down and 14. Johnny Johnson is deep for Texas. Snapping the ball is Buzzy Nelson, number 58. He does that on the long snaps. A wobbler. Taken by Johnson, but not for long as he stopped on the 41. So the Longhorns, leading by a score of 29-7, have 4 minutes and 42 seconds to show us more of their offensive might here at Memorial Stadium in Austin. Don't forget, immediately following this game, as we're running long, ABC News Special hosted by Harry Reisner on the visit of President Sadat to Israel. We saw their earlier coverage today, and it was a tremendous ABC News presentation.
Sadat is courageous going to Israel for a hopeful of lasting peace in the Mideast.
Ted Constanzo now quarterbacking for the Longhorns, handing off to Jimmy Johnson, who is in the backfield. So we've had 3 quarterbacks used by Freddie Akers today.
Constanzo was a very heralded high school football player. He came to Texas, had some misfortune, adversities, and Freddie Akers was going to redshirt him this year. But because of the injury to Ertzleben, he had to go in and do the punting, and now he's playing some quarterback.
So if you just joined us on a direct telephone connection to Roger Baldessari of Notre Dame, they announced that Notre Dame has accepted a bid to the Cotton Bowl. And, of course, the winner of the Southwest Conference will be their opponent, Texas, having the upper hand thus far. They have Texas A&M yet to play, but they lead here 29-7 as Jimmy Johnson carried on a 2nd and 6. Enough for the first down, and Doak Field made the stop, along with Ken Griffin of Athens, Texas.
Freddie Akers did a good job at the half getting the Texas team ready to come back. Baylor has 0 yardage for this half, and Texas has close to 240 yards.
All right, coming to the near side is Mike Lockett, number 47. Constanza is the quarterback for the Texas Longhorns. 3:29 left in the game. And a big pile-up. Was there a loose ball? It was Graylin Wyatt, who's replaced Earl Campbell. He's from Texarkana, Arkansas. And it appears that the Baylor Bears have come up with a 3rd turnover by the Texas Longhorns. 20 seconds remaining in the Washington State game. The Huskies leading 35-15 to keep their Rose Bowl hopes alive.
Now they can wait and watch the game on Friday night on ABC to see if they'll be the Rose Bowl representative for the Pac-8 Conference, or will it be UCLA?
That's 9 Eastern time over most of these stations. Frank and I will be there. We hope you'll join us. 31 Seaburn carrying on the play from the 44. Mike Hartinger from Colorado Springs, Colorado, number 49, made the tackle.
Clipping penalty.
All right. While that clipping is being accepted or not, or being marched off, remember, Monday Night Football, NFL football, it is Washington, Green Bay. Then, Thursday, NCAA college football at 2:30 Eastern. It'll be Arkansas versus Texas Tech. Friday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, Nebraska, Oklahoma. Then at 9 on Friday, UCLA versus USC. Saturday, Penn State versus Pittsburgh at 12:30, followed by the Army-Navy game. What a lineup of games, exclusive coverage of NCAA college football. It's a 1st and 21, clipping against, of course, Baylor. Hawthorne carried on the play, and the Texas defense hanging in there. The snap came from the 33, and there is Freddie Akers, father of 3, along with his wife, Diane.
They're a beautiful couple, and he is going to be one of the great coaches of all time. He played on the same football team with Barry Switzer. 1958 and 59 Razorback team.
Good. I was going to ask you the school, Frank. So now we have a 2nd down and 20 after that 1-yard gain. Bo Taylor in the lineup. Seaburn got the handoff, and Mark Hamilton, number 90, made the stop on the play, and that'll bring up a 3rd down. And with the ball at the 39, a gain of 5. It'll be 3rd down and 15 for the Baylor Bears. Seaburn has carried 5 times today, 20 yards. 2:19 left in the game. And it seems like this game has gone on forever.
It's been going nearly 3 hours, if not 3 hours.
Oh, what a pass by Scott Smith to number 82, Ronnie Lee. And did he? Oh, I can't believe it.
That is the first time this year I've seen officials call that particular type of play a fumble. Most of the time, they call it an incomplete pass. As Smith hit the receiver deep downfield, he was tackled by the Texas safety man, rolling back in and dropped it.
The 5th Baylor turnover, and number 1 ranked Texas gets the ball again. 1st and 10 at the 33. Knocking it loose was Vance Bedford from Beaumont, Texas, number 41.
Texas has all their 2nd defensive unit in the ball game from that last series.
The young ball team. What a beautiful pitch out to Graylin Wyatt, number 40, by Constanza. Very little gain on the play, perhaps 2 yards out to the 35. There you get a look at Constanza. He's got a lot of leadership quality, and they expect big things from him.
He has a good arm. He's an excellent passer, and I'm sure that he'll make his contribution to Freddie Akers' football team, if not the rest of this year, next year.
And now Washington, the final score, defeating Washington State 35-15, and now they can wait to see the outcome on Friday night on ABC television. UCLA versus Southern California at the Coliseum in Los Angeles.
Jimmy Johnson on the carry. There's a flag on the play.
On a 2nd down and 8 play, Jimmy Johnson carried. There is a marker down on the field, which gives us a chance to thank Athletic Director of Baylor, Jack Patterson, Head Coach Grant Taff and his staff, Sports Information Director Sid Wilson for all their help. The same here, our old friend Texas Athletic Director Darrell Royal, Head Coach
Frank Broyles, I thought was that.
No, come on. Head Coach Fred Akers and his staff, and Sports Information Director Jones Ramsey. It's a face mask penalty, and we're going to replay it right now.
Yep. Right on the left part of the screen, you see the Baylor tackle getting the Graylin Wyatt's face mask and pulling it, and that's 15 yards.
So the ball is at the Baylor 45, 1st and 10, Constanza. See him hide that ball on his hip, even though he was pressured, nearly stumbled. Oh, does he have poise. Jay Allison, 85, making the stop. He's a senior from Brownwood, Texas. The reason we kid about Frank Broyles and Darrell Royal, they are such close friends and have been for many, many years. And they both had this man as either a player and as an assistant coach. And I call Frank and Darrell like an entry in horse racing, 1 and 1A. And, of course, I called Frank Darrell a couple of times early in the ballgame. They're both my friends, and it's a toss-up which one I like best. Love them both. Constanza. 2nd and 4 play. And Baylor may have come up with the ball on the 4th Texas for yes, I believe it's the 4th Texas turnover. So we're having a little shabby football here in the closing 30 seconds of the game. Mike Singletary, that freshman linebacker, recovered the ball. Here's Constanza.
Scrambling, and he's not protecting the football. He didn't tuck it away. Baylor stripped him of it and recovered it.
And that number 63 is everywhere in white. There we have 26 seconds. Our executive producer, of course, is Rune Arledge, who's also president of ABC News, and that special will follow. And I know you will enjoy it. The informative coverage of today's game was produced by Ned Steckel, directed by Terry Jastro, technical director Bernard Gunther, associate director John DeLisa, and it's a wild finish to the game. Engineering supervisor Martin Sandberg, unit manager Dennis Szabo, assistant producer Dick Ellis, and our Norristown, Pennsylvania spotter Bill Friel, and Rick Bernstein from the University of Missouri, our statistician. Who? From the Goodyear Blimp America, there is the closing shot. Well on the clock, we have 10 seconds, Frank. And it's the 10th consecutive victory here in this season for the number 1 ranked Texas Longhorns. At the moment, they are leading by a score of 29-7. And with the announcement of Notre Dame in the Cotton Bowl, you can be sure this staff and all the players want to win the conference and go to the Cotton Bowl.
Freddie has said that they stress oneness, unselfishness, and confidence, and that's what he credits this year's successful football team.
All right. 1st and 10 from the 23 for Texas. Constanza, the young quarterback, calling signals. 10 seconds left on the clock. Well, I doubt if he got back to the line of scrimmage, but it doesn't matter. All right, 29-7 is the final score. It was 13-0 at the end of the first quarter, 19-7 at halftime. 22-7 at the end of 3, and now 29-7 in the 67th meeting between these two fine Southwest Conference. And now let's just listen to that famous song.
Do I have to?
Eyes of Texas. Go ahead, Arkansas.
Chris, I used to try to keep my team in the huddle till they had played and sung that before the kickoff. I didn't want them to hear that. It's a great song.
Imagine if Texas goes to the Cotton Bowl, the victory march of Notre Dame, and this song. The blimp provided by the Goodyear Tire and Rubber Company. Travel arrangements made through and a promotional fee paid by United Airlines. United built the largest airline in the free world around you. 29-7 the final. This has been a presentation of ABC Sports, recognized around the world as the leader in sports television.
To start with,